most renowned powers in women's basketball came together yesterday, and the USA lost out. And there's Sabonis, and well, what a job he has on his hands tonight.
7'4", from Valladolid to Real Madrid for $3 million. Sabonis then number 11, Marciulionis number 13. They're the key men to watch out for Lithuania. And the Americans, well, you pick your favorite.
And Chuck Daly means business. Look at that starting five he's got out there. Jordan, Barkley, Robinson, Pippen. And, well, that's a rarity. The Americans winning the opening tap. And Johnson, the fifth member of the starting five.
Michael Jordan. That's a good sign for him.
There's Sabonis playing the high post. Very confident. Behind the back pass from the high post. Can't see many of those.
Good hands from Chemicius. Sabonis, not that time. Rebound from Jordan. And here's Magic. Well, they look well composed at the start. Larry Bird.
Marciulionis, the Golden State Warrior player who has funded this team out of his own pocket.
Nice little move. And Sabonis, no foul there from Robinson. Jordan. Oh, good hands. Sabonis just a little bit slow. Remember, they started like an express train, the USA, in the match against Spain. 17-0 it was.
Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico came back with a 13-0 spurt, so it's 7 now, but, well, Lithuania, they won't lie down and die. They've got a history of basketball, part of their culture, but they have an uphill task now indeed.
So here's Jordan. Very little happening on defense. Sabonis gets the tip, but here's Scottie Pippen.
And referee Costas Rigas to stop the game there. Scottie Pippen got what's commonly known as a jammed finger. Just got his hand in there, and well, the Chicago Bulls general manager Jerry Krause won't be too happy at seeing this. It's a long time before the NBA season starts, but a broken finger, if that's what it is, takes a long time to heal. The most common injury in the game, and it's very, very painful. Doesn't matter how many times it happens to you, it hurts.
And so does that.
9-0.
Marciulionis. Sabonis. It just won't go in at the moment. Barkley. Johnson. Jordan. Surely that was a foul. Yes, a rather late call.
Marciulionis blocked the ball from behind there on Jordan, and Jordan doesn't have the ball blocked too many times. Normally fades away from the hoop.
Chris Mullin. Magic, who played so well in the quarterfinal against Puerto Rico. Jordan, who's, even by his own admission, not had a good tournament so far.
Apparently been suffering from a little bit of a virus complaint. Simon, been under the weather, bit of flu or whatever. And there's the finger of Pippen. And well, if that's a dislocation, which is what it looks like to me, they've just put the joint back in. That is terribly painful for Scotty.
Robinson, who was on the team in Seoul, beaten by what was then the Soviet Union, and 4 of the players in that team are playing today. Chemicius, Sabonis, Marciulionis and Javesa.
And Robinson would never have dreamt that he could be getting revenge, which is probably what he's going to get tonight against the mighty Arvydas Sabonis.
In it goes from Kurtinaitis, and they're on their way. They've kept their composure well. They didn't look too rattled, but 3 minutes before they open their account.
And that's the first shot taken by any Lithuanian player other than Sabonis.
Malin. Sabonis. And here's Dimitrios. No foul.
And no walk either, which is a little bit surprising to everybody here.
Jordan in under the basket to Charles Barkley. And a foul on Marciulionis. Teammate of Chris Mullin. Look at the strength that he has to bring it up under the first arm, only to get the second.
You love him or you hate him. Charles Barkley, once of Philadelphia and now of the Phoenix Suns.
Here's Marciulionis, third year with Golden State Warriors. Jordan looks for a foul. Karnisovas looks for the basket.
The USA will be very well aware that Marciulionis' game is penetrating and dumping off. And they'll be keen to stop him doing that. Foul there. That's Karnisovas, that's his second.
Karnisovas, who goes to Seton Hall, where he's coached by PJ Carlissimo, who's one of the coaches on the American bench.
Well, the fact that Vladas Garastas, the Lithuanian coach, has called timeout means that he's not interested in conceding this. He's called a timeout just to sort things out.
Marciulionis has been saying that he would like, if they're to go down, he'd like it to be by the smallest margin. The smallest margin so far against the USA is Croatia by 33 points.
And remember, Croatia didn't play that well in that game, and well, they haven't actually played the type of basketball we know that they can play so far in this tournament. They played well for about the last 3 or 4 minutes against the unified team today. And, well, they almost let it slip, but they have a place in the final, and they expect to meet the team of Chuck Daly.
Magic Johnson, who has looked fitter and fitter as this tournament has gone on. Had a problem with his right knee early on, but no sign of it against Puerto Rico. No sign of it tonight so far. Barkley. Robinson misses with the dunk. And here's Marciulionis.
Barkley just forcing a shot there. And, that's not what they need.
And that's Karnisovas reaching in again there. I think that's his second foul. He's got to watch it. Or maybe even his third. Yes, his third. Only 21 years old. Very much the youngster on the team. Has so much experience. Gerdinaitis 32. Sabonis 27. And Javesa 37. Johnson and another foul, this time on Gerdinaitis, and they're drawing the foul time after time.
And the problem Lithuania have is that their bench is not that strong, and that is one thing you cannot say about the United States. Their bench goes down a long, long way. But, Lithuania is struggling on fouls at the moment.
Jordan. He looks a bit sharper tonight than we've seen him. Marciulionis. Nice little move, and here's Sabonis. Yes, they're the two key players and linking so well.
That understanding between Marciulionis and Sabonis is vital.
Jordan short, and here's Marciulionis again. On a bit of a charge here, but here's a man who could really turn it round.
Asking for the foul and getting nothing.
And Sabonis' sheer presence helped them there. Poor shot there from Gerdinaitis. And here's Robinson.
Foul on the defender, turn his back on him.
Such an agile man, Robinson, for 7'1". Dimitrios. And the foul against Brasdauskas, who's new on number 8.
Here's the replay of Sabonis from the pass from Marciulionis. Talk about agility for such big men, Simon. That's the result of all the coaching that goes on in the United States. They put big guys through intense programs of skipping and jumping lines and handling squash balls and a lot of hand-eye coordination work. And Robinson, evidence of the success of that tournament, that program.
Playing at a much slower pace than Croatia did against them. It was all frenzy and movement. And this is calm and considered. Not too considered there, though. Malin. And that time, Marciulionis just let him by.
Teammates, of course, at Golden State Warriors.
Lucky to hang on there, Marciulionis. Sabonis from 3.
Well, Sabonis missed his first 4 shots from inside the paint, and he's been outside ever since. And that's not where Lithuania need him.
But picking up the rebounds.
Good hands, Johnson.
Not fooled at all. Robinson, yes, spectacular stuff. Great feed in from Robinson. From Johnson, and Robinson does the business.
Irvin Johnson, Magic Johnson, must have watched Marciulionis several times on television as well as playing against him, and just down the coast in California. Knew exactly where Marciulionis was going then and stripped him.
Sabonis inside. At last they draw a foul off the Americans. Johnson this time.
Good old-fashioned high post move there. Marciulionis throws the ball into Sabonis, cuts off his man, and receives it back inside the paint.
Kurtinaitis, but Malin reads him so well, and watch out. Yeah.
Not the mightiest of dunks, but with so much casual, consummate ease that Michael Jordan not going to miss many of those.
Missing so much from outside. They're not trying to get inside that much.
I think they were very discouraged by having Sabonis miss his first 4 shots.
Oh, what cheeky little hook there from Magic, and Larry loves it. So suddenly the lead stretches to 15. Dimitrius. Well, he won't be denied. Sabonis, he keeps on shooting.
Well, there are 2 ways of looking at that, really. I mean, Sabonis is hurting his team at the moment by missing so many shots, but then again, no one else is scoring. So, well, if Sabonis is right, try and get his eye in somewhere.
Magic Johnson. No one coming to Robinson. And surprising, he misses it. Great rebound from Barkley. Johnson just steps out the three-point line and just flips it in. And this is very one-sided at the moment.
We used to say in basketball, whenever you've got the ball in the front court, you've got a triple threat, but these Americans really making it a quadruple threat. You can drive, you can shoot, you can pass, or you can go backwards outside the three-point arc, like Johnson did then.
Sabonis just can't buy a basket at the moment. Kurtinaitis.
Reduced to shooting and crashing the boards now, Lithuania. So far, I make Sabonis on 2 points.
And here comes another intimidating figure. 7'1" goes off. Just a mere 7 foot comes on with Patrick Ewing.
Well, Robinson's done a great job on Sabonis so far, and I'm sure that Patrick Ewing will carry on where Robinson's left off.
Kurtinaitis takes a break. Krapikas, number 9, is new on. Good hands from Dimitrius. Dimitrius. Johnson rebound.
This is the best start, actually, technically speaking, that we've seen the United States make. They've come to play tonight. and I include in that the game they played against Croatia.
They look really confident, relaxed. They know the moves. He's looking very slick indeed. Malin, no one with him. Acres of space, so much time.
Playing the passing game there, and eventually found the open man, and naturally enough, it was Mullin in the corner.
Marciulionis. No real threat at all at the moment. Tsimikas. Great defense.
Yep, foul Marciulionis in desperation there to try and get a rebound. And every shot is being forced at the moment by Lithuania.
And here comes Clyde Drexler from the Portland Trail Blazers, another who's had a wonderful season. Magic, who starts again in tremendous style, goes off as the world heavyweight champion takes his seat. Ewing.
Travelling, just backing his man up there, and on his heels, just took 2 tiny steps backwards, which is illegal.
Krapikas. It's been played at a deceptive pace. I thought it was a backcourt.
Mullin touched the ball first, Simon, there, so...
Great defense again from the States. Oh! Flamboyant stuff from Jordan.
Let me see the way he put his arms out afterwards, as if he was almost taking off there.
Well, I don't think anyone would be surprised if he did. A miserable shot. And so far it's been a very average performance from Lithuania, who many people thought with good hopes, and they're being absolutely thrashed here. Barkley with 3. What a scoreline. And that's Patrick Ewing.
And Pippin coming back on despite the jammed finger, and great ovation for Michael Jordan. Done a super job on Marciulionis. Marciulionis has not had an inch of space in which to operate.
Tsimikas. That's more like it. Better move. And in the end, Kurtinaitis does it himself.
Excellent move there. A lot of fakes. A lot of defenders taken up in the air, left the floor, and resulted in a good layup. And there's, well, Clyde missing an inside shot. An attempted dunk from Clyde Drexler.
Much more teamwork. No Sabonis at the moment, but the teamwork has been stepped up and it's working.
Playing the passing game, which they weren't doing with Sabonis on court.
Kurtinaitis again. Malone wants it his way, but it's not given. Larry Bird gets a warm ovation as he takes to the court.
Larry Bird, not the oldest man in the game tonight. That honour goes to Jevesa, the number 15 of Lithuania, who has yet to come on court.
Kurtinaitis having a good spell at the moment. Brasdauskis will have the sideline possession. Kurtinaitis. Pippin with him.
The help defense is amazing here. There's no way through, and that's a 30-second violation, and that came as a result of super defense from the Americans. Lithuania couldn't see where the next pass was coming from, let alone a shot.
There were periods against Puerto Rico in the first half and early in the second where they looked the genuine article, probably the finest basketball team ever assembled. Certainly the finest basketball ever assembled, but looked like it. And it's happening at the moment. That was Amikis, new on, 22 years old, none of the youngsters. Malone. Robinson. Ewing indeed.
We've been discussing, Simon, all along what's going to happen in 1996 as well, and there's quite a bit of different feeling about what kind of team the United States should put out in Atlanta, whether they put an NBA team out or go back to the college teams, college kids, or mix it up. That'll be a very interesting situation. And knowing the American system, say for instance in athletics, where the first three past the post get the pick, then I just wonder how they're going to pick a team. Very difficult situation indeed. If they could just ask the pros who wants to play, and have trials even.
Been a lot of controversy between the chef de mission and the team itself. Chef de mission says he's a little embarrassed, and the team have their things to say about that. There's been some criticism about them staying away. Oh, look at this. Wonderful move from Drexler there.
And that all started with a lovely pass from Larry Bird, the look-away pass.
There's been a lot of criticism about the team staying away from the village, but when you think that Carl Lewis and the other major athletic stars have also been staying in hotels, it makes a mockery of that. Oh, good shot there from Sabonis, just about his first good shot since the first minute.
I think that's only the second shot he scored from inside the paint. And that's his game, really, playing in there in the red area. Patrick Ewing, well, he replies that Sabonis score with two of his own. Can you imagine the problems in the village, though, Simon, if the Dream Team stayed there, security-wise and crowd-wise? I mean, no other athlete would get any sleep.
Johnson took his family for a walk a couple of days ago, and he said it took him about half an hour just to walk down the street.
Johnson, ever the diplomat, made a reply to the head of delegation, and in very diplomatic terms said, basically, I think you're talking a load of rubbish. Not in those terms, though.
Larry Bird, lovely little dump off to Ewing. Malone. Oh, he'll hate that.
Again, it's so simple, the basketball. The move between Bird and Ewing, a pick and roll, and Ewing rolled towards the basket and was wide open. Marshallonis just taking a brief rest on the bench, and let's see if he can improve on his performance of the first 5 minutes. He's only got Clyde Drexler marking him now. I say only. And there's the foul called on that man, Drexler. Marshallonis penetrating, and Drexler just reached in.
In general, the tempo has been quite slow, and yet inside, hidden, amazing quickness. Scottie Pippen says thank you very much, and Larry Bird just pops it in.
It's so unselfish of Pippen there. He could have gone one-on-one and scored an easy dunk, but he just he expected someone to be trailing, and that was Bird.
Shot in from Kourtenitis. Marciulionis still, they're not really trying to get too much inside. Sabonis.
Sabonis had 3 men on him then when he shot.
Robinson looks for a foul, doesn't get it.
Well, Marshallonis very fortunate then, ran right underneath Robinson, and a lot of referees would have called that an intentional foul, but a three-pointer there from the corner from Kourtenitis.
And that was Hazdrazdis reaching in.
The implications of this game, Simon, assuming that Lithuania lose, they're going to be playing their former teammates of the Soviet Union, now representing the CIS, for the bronze medal. So the gold medalists of Seoul, they've been cut in half almost, and they'll be disputing the bronze medal.
So Pippen to the line.
One-on-one, he misses the top.
Hazdrazdis Marciulionis. Let's see if they will try and get inside. Nice little move there from Dimapicus.
Nice old-fashioned hook shots.
Bird. And Pazdrazdis caught for just slapping on the back of Bird's wrist.
Larry Bird, 1-on-1. Only 20. Pazdrazdis, 6'5". Good as a guard, his second foul, but promising future ahead of him. Especially as Marciulionis has invested, we understand, $500,000, not only in this team, but in the basketball program to develop basketball in Lithuania, now that they are a separate country from the Soviet Union.
Larry Bird been suffering, as he has done for much of the last year, with a back injury. But still looks pretty fit out there. Marciulionis. Good move, foul on Malone.
Defensive intensity has eased off somewhat in the last couple of minutes. That's why Marciulionis was allowed to penetrate there. But the damage was all done in the first 5 minutes with such tough defense and, well, high percentage shooting, to say the least, in the first few minutes of this half. Malone there just reaching in, and Marciulionis, normally red hot from the foul line, puts his first one in.
Really tremendous player, 28 years old now, the first Lithuanian ever to play in the NBA.
Lists as one of his hobbies, Simon, weight training, and there's the evidence. Tremendous athletic build on him.
So the lead, 19. Bird, Drexler. Pippin. Sabonis rebound. Nothing on quickly, so Marciulionis has to build it from the back. Sabonis. Well, lucky to get a second bite. Sabonis. Pazdrazdis. 3 for him. And the lead down to 16.
Well, one thing you cannot accuse Sabonis of being, and that is lacking in confidence. A man that size, 7'4", that's about his 6th three-point attempt now, and he hasn't scored one yet.
Yes, he won't be looking at the stat sheet at half-time.
Nice turnaround there from Karl Malone.
Marciulionis always looks so composed, never rushed. Calling for a walk, but it didn't look like it.
Clyde Drexler asking all the time for Marciulionis to be called a foul for holding him. That's good offense if he can get away with it. On that occasion, he did. Desperation foul there from number 7, Dimapicus. Beaten all ends up by Malone and pushed him, well, firstly pushed him out of bounds. But Malone's so strong. Here we see the foul there, and as he was in the air, little push. Malone nearly scored as well.
Karl Malone from the Utah Jazz. All NBA first team 4 times. Very much a player's player.
It's one of the differences I've just realised, Simon, with the NBA players here tonight and in this tournament. They have 10 seconds from the foul line in the NBA, and that's why they can take their time, compose themselves, and that's why probably they've been missing so many. They've only got 5 seconds in international ball.
Sabonis, Kurtinaitis, and a foul that time on Pazdrazdis, again on Bird. Yes, the cynics about the Dream Team said that the rule changes would hurt them. That rule at the foul line, the 12 minutes turned into 2 20s, and the non-protection on the players.
I think it probably took them about 10 seconds to adjust. Simon, that was in their first warm-up game. Crowd getting a little bit annoyed here with the refereeing, the finicky refereeing. They're calling too many little touch fouls, and most of them going against the Lithuanians. There's no need in a game that really has turned into an exhibition event now.
Sabonis, and again he misses after a good pass from Pazdrazdis. But their shot percentage, the Lithuanians, they've thrown in so many shots. Not enough of them have been competitive. Nice, lovely little move. Pippin, Sabonis spoils it. Pippin again.
It's out of bounds, the top of the backboard. Yeah, every shot that the Lithuanians are taking has to be adjusted somewhat. If they're in the air, then there's always a hand there, or even two hands from an American, and they have to adjust. That's why they're missing so many, shooting such a low percentage.
Game's lost a bit of its edge since Jordan and Johnson have gone off. Into the last minute now, Kurtinaitis. Pippin. Oh, just a simple layup, but didn't it look good?
The man takes off outside the three-point arc as well, and just sort of drifts through the key.
Yes,
nice.
Now that's what they need, more of that from Sabonis.
That's right, the pass and cut from Sabonis. Pass to the player, then went straight to the hoop and received the ball back again.
So this will be the last shot. Pippin.
When you think, Simon, that Lithuania have been annihilated, and yet it's only 17 points, so they're on course for beating...
Oh.
Well, that fake was so good that just about half the crowd took it as well.
So that'll be 3.
It's a one-on-one because, well, Bird tried to convince the referee that he was shooting as Razas picked up his 4th.
Don't you think he was?
I don't think he was. Well, the fact that, no, he's given a one-on-one.
And he buries them both. And Sabonis. Oh yes, it was good. What a good try to Marciulionis. Amazing ball there from Sabonis. That really was.
Sabonis thinking about that because there were 2 seconds left in the game, and the clock doesn't start until a player on court touches it. That was nearly a great assist there.
So Johnson goes off. Only played 4 or 5 minutes at the start. We'll take a break now, come back in just a moment or two.
Above all, our new car has to be roomy.
But also nice and powerful.
And economical, right, darling?
Comfortable.
With room for the whole family.
And still affordable.
Does such a car exist?
The applause from Daihatsu, Japan. Gracias.
Sportbild News. So stark war Sportbild noch nie. Olympia auf 25 Seiten. Mit einer großen Athletenumfrage über die guten und schlechten Funktionäre. Mit Heike Henkels Gedanken über den wichtigsten Sprung ihres Lebens. Und mit einem super Service. Alle Ergebnisse, Medaillengewinner, Wettbewerbe und TV-Termine. Dazu das große Bundesliga-Sonderheft auf 48 Seiten. Zum Nulltarif.
Sportbild. Jede Woche mit TV Sport. Deutschlands größtem TV-Sportprogramm. Sportbild. Die Nummer 1 im Sport. Für 1,50 Mark.
Film your children now on TDK. Go! One day, the world will remember it. TDK, now and forever.
That we've ever seen. There's the starter's gun, weighing 3, the current world record. Well, on his way to a new Olympic record if he can keep this pace up for anyone. final throw for a medal after two rather disappointing. The 92 Olympics. With the barcode scanning system of your Panasonic video recorder, you're always in tune. Panasonic lets you read your pictures.
Panasonic.
First, you see only the differences, the different cultures, strengths and weaknesses. Then you see the will to go further, to go beyond personal frontiers, to win. Uniting people in a common cause is the Olympic ideal. The European community embraces the same ideal and welcomes the Olympic Games in 1992. The European community. More is possible when you pursue the same idea.
Welcome back to the Palais de Sport. It's 49-30. USA lead Lithuania at half-time. We're going to get all the second half, but we're going to go back now 4 hours or so to this afternoon. Croatia against the United team, and what a finish it was. We join it with the United team 4 points in front. There you are. And that's Kukoc going for a three-pointer, which brought it back to just one.
Kukoc's first three of the game, and what a time to shoot it. Foul call there, and the foul is against the number 13, Komazek. And, well, that's a smart foul, despite the fact that it's his fifth, because he's put Alexander Volkov on the line, who has just missed the first of his last two one-on-ones.
Volkov, who's had such a wonderful game, was very much the key player for the United team throughout this match, but just up to this point had shown a few nerves, missed a few free throws, and this was the tactic to get him to the line.
It was amazing that the Croatian team actually chose Volkov to foul, but it was there's a replay of the Kukoc three-pointer, which changed the course of the game. And there we see the foul. That's obviously a planned move. Komazek under instructions, foul Volkov. Don't foul anybody else, just foul the man who has gone stone cold on the foul line.
And what pressure now on Volkov. Croatia in their first year in the Olympic Games. Very much the remnants of the team that were runners-up in 1988 in Seoul.
Remember, the unified team at this stage, they lead by one.
So Volkov to the line, and as you can see, it was dreadfully long, and now they had a chance. Croatia had a chance. Kukoc now with 18 seconds left. This could be their last offense. Petrovic. They're trying to go for a travel, but a foul is called.
Petrovic surrounded by three players there, had nowhere to go really. He was looking at the hoop, but Berezanoy, much to his, well, disbelief, called for a foul. And that gives Dražan Petrovic of the New Jersey Nets a 1-1. And unlike Volkov at the other end, Petrovic has been scoring from the foul line, and smart move from Coach Scansi. He's kept Brankovic off the court for a long time, but he puts him in here for the rebound.
Still the orders flying out, and what pressure on Petrovic here. That leveled it up. And you can see what it meant to them.
9 seconds remaining.
This for a place in the final. Petrovic lands it. They're in front for only the second time in the match, and now they have to defend for all their life. Still 1.5 seconds left, still enough time. Volkov again. It wasn't to be his night. It was Croatia who came out on top. A quite unbelievable win for them. And they're through to the final in their first time as an independent nation. And what a difference a few hours make. This is a very different tempo, a very different type of match. We thought it would be, but Lithuania were disappointing early on. And then the Americans, I think, just sat back a little, and now they're playing a bit better, the Lithuanians.
Totally overwhelmed in the first 5 minutes, Lithuania, and two really class players in the team. Marciulionis has got NBA experience. He's almost as good as some of these guys out there. And Sabonis was drafted by Portland in '87, so he's in exactly the same situation. He's almost as good. But at the moment, they're playing well below par, and they've really got to start playing together. And a couple of big rebounds, a couple of good points from Sabonis may just lift the team.
They know too that if they are going to try and keep it under 33, which seems to be second objective, obviously their first objective was to try and win. Second objective, according to Marciulionis, was to try and keep it below the 33, the lowest score, the lowest margin so far. If they're going to do that, the Americans will ease off, as they have done in the second half, start showboating, so they can claw back some points then.
Yeah, there are two periods in the game as far as the Americans are concerned. One at the beginning when they put the pressure on, and one at the end when they do showboat. And when they are showboating, they've got to, as Charles Barkley buries another three, they've got to take advantage of the situation when the Americans may get a little bit slipshod.
Okay then, here's Marciulionis. Kurtinaitis. Marciulionis. Jordan and Johnson are back on, so be prepared for anything. Slack hands. Robinson doing everything. There's the commitment.
Well, Robinson's that hustle, he almost ended up down at Palo San Jordi. The hustle, he went so far out of the crowd.
Chimicius. Marciulionis. Again, the intensity on the American defense is such that mistakes are being made. That's a lovely ball in from Sabonis to Karnisovas.
What a bounce pass. John Stockton would have been proud of that one.
Sabonis, remember, 7'4". Oh, Jordan misses, Robinson doesn't.
The problem is you think you've achieved something when these guys have missed a shot, but well, they keep going until the score is made.
Chimicius. Sabonis, who didn't really have a good enough first half. And he provides a massive screen if you need it.
He makes Johnson look small, and Johnson's 6'9".
Good shot there.
Need some more of those from Marciulionis.
Three-pointer. Mullin. Johnson. Kurtinaitis in front of him.
Travel? No travelling call, a foul instead. Good pass, says Chuck Daly. Magic Johnson guilty there of an NBA foul that would have been called in the NBA, but isn't at this level for some reason, playing the low post and holding his man off. And referees in the NBA instructed nowadays to call that as a foul.
Yes, good hustle again from Charles Barkley, forcing Karnisovas to put it behind the line.
Coach Garastas just appealing to the referee there for a little...
Slightly misread where the basket was.
Do you know, I think he may have faked a dunk there. That's the first time I've ever seen anyone about to dunk it and fake.
I'd love to see that in slow motion again. Yeah, thinking about it, Jordan doesn't make those kind of mistakes.
That was amazing. Well, he got the two, and he got a bonus. And, well, it might even have been a fake to draw the foul.
So the lead up to 24. Kurtinaitis. No, too much pressure. Well played, Mullin. And here's Jordan. Not much rebounding going on from the United team there, Lithuania there. free run through to the basket. The lead up to 26. And look at the intensity. Kourtenitis, time and space. Didn't look like a foul to me.
Well, someone got a clean hand on the ball, I think, there, but no one's complaining. Not even Chuck Daly.
It's the first foul on David Robinson. No complaints. For the most part, they've treated the rest pretty carefully.
Not yet been in a tight situation, though, Simon, so hold fire on that comment, I think.
Okay. Karnisovas to the line.
There is an exception to that, of course. Charles Barkley's picked up 3 technicals now.
Johnson. Rebound, Chimichis. Marciulionis. Nice little layup. Sweet move. He has got some great moves.
Not afraid to take them on either. All the way to the hoop and laid it up over 2 people.
Mullin. Johnson. Barkley. Second effort. Unlucky. Marciulionis quick with his hands, but again you can see Barkley working so hard, and Holyfield enjoy that.
Barkley's wandering across the referee and asking him if he really thought that a man 11.5 inches taller than him didn't foul him then.
Marciulionis, nothing on. He was lucky to get away with that, and that was shocking from Sabonis. 2 easy points for Magic. Sabonis, rather like Kukoc, who we've seen in a couple of matches, is flattered to deceive so far.
Yeah, you don't try and throw behind your back passes against Magic Johnson, and it's beginning a rout at the moment. Barkley on the end of the fast break, and basically that's what I was saying at half-time. If you want to keep the margin down, you don't give the ball away as often as Lithuania are at the moment.
Karl Malone looking almost bored on the bench. That's the first time that's happened. Again, Sabonis not reading Marciulionis' pass. That's a well played. That was good stuff from Chimichis. And Sabonis was more or less mugged there under the basket.
That's a great matchup, Barkley and Sabonis. 6'4.5" against 7'4". Look at this.
I'd love to know what Jordan said to him there.
the eye contact there.
Terrific confrontation, Sabonis and Barkley.
Well, that's the first one that Sabonis has won in that situation.
He's a foot taller than Barkley.
Probably about 4 stone heavier as well, I would have thought. But again, an example of the intensity of the defense. I mean, Barkley could have just let him score then, but he didn't want him to score. Robinson scores from just inside the 3-point arc.
Yes, I think Barkley will take pride in that. Marciulionis. Marciulionis just forced into the error. Good pressure from Jordan and the rest.
There's an art in getting the ball into the low post, and there's also an art in defending the pass into it, and Jordan is a master at it. He knew exactly where the ball was going to go then, and Marciulionis failed to get the ball into Sabonis.
Kourtenitis. Good move. Sabonis with time and space, but really his shooting percentage just gets lower and lower. Must be about 25%.
If that high, Simon. His range is 3 feet, and you cannot say that about Chris Mullin. His range is 23 feet.
Marciulionis. Sabonis.
The American accent coming from the Lithuanian bench is that of Don Nelson, assistant coach at Golden State Warriors, and his instructions are quite simple: hold the ball.
Jordan. Oh, lovely move. He's looking a lot sharper tonight. Marciulionis. Sent sprawling by Jordan.
And a great sportsman that the great man is. Picks his player up and then immediately acknowledges the foul.
Just a little turn there. Kurtinaitis. Great hustle. Magic helping out. Here's Barkley. Jordan. Oh.
The crowd held its breath then, wanting the ball to go in. He's got so much time in the air, Jordan. You see, he goes round, fakes underneath, and it damn well nearly goes in as well.
Two unhappy people, Garasatis and Sabonis before him. And Michael Jordan, who only scored 72 points in 5 games before, now beginning to take flight.
American women here, supporting their men. Of course, the American women at best can get a bronze medal.
Marciulionis. Oh yes, nice move. Visakas finishes it off. And all the good stuff coming from Marciulionis. It might be dreamland for the Americans. It's a bit of a nightmare at the moment for Sabonis and his troop. Mullin, again, precious little defense.
Where Larry Bird's mind is at the moment, whether it's on the court or whether it's on his future. Mullin there just called for a foul for over-aggressively fighting through a screen. A lesson there for all you kids watching at home. When you're on defense, talk. And that's the first success that Sabonis has had from outside the arc.
He was due one. Johnson. No movement at all. Barkley.
They're talking each other through the offenses here.
Sabonis blocking him twice. Now he'll enjoy that. And that might start a bit of a revival. Kurtinaitis, but a great move there from Sabonis. That's what they've waited for.
Well, Robinson must have thought it was Seoul revisited then.
And Sabonis again blocks Johnson. And that'll be possession.
Unlucky there, Marciulionis just couldn't quite get his hands on there. Then we saw the 2 block shots from Sabonis and another one coming. Even the attempted reverse slam was blocked then. Sabonis, he out-heights Robinson by 3 inches.
Jeez.
Excuse my grammar.
I know what you mean though, when it really is unbelievable. Someone could be 3 inches taller than David Robinson. Sabonis again.
An offensive foul called. And a mini revival here from Lithuania as Robinson, and Barkley rather, picks up his 2nd foul.
Yeah, Sabonis is starting to play, and when he plays, the rest of them work in alongside him.
What a shame he didn't start playing 28 minutes ago, though.
Yes, Marciulionis has most of the good ideas, but Sabonis is the backbone of the team. Marciulionis, yes.
Again, good communication from the Americans there. You heard the caller switch, but they switched too late, and Marciulionis buried a 3.
And still the bulk of their points coming from outside the arc. Magic. Robinson.
I don't think even Sabonis could have blocked that one.
Looks like Kurtinaitis has got a calf injury to his right leg. Marciulionis again. They're hustling much better now. And there's another good example. Marciulionis.
Well, that was a waste of a lot of good hustling there. Sabonis taking a bad shot, which led to a fast break and basket interference. 2 points to Magic Johnson. Not good for teamwork when 4 players hustle like mad to get a ball, and then someone the size of Sabonis takes a bad shot. And that was Marciulionis then. Basket interference.
But he had time. I don't think the coaches would have shouted at him for taking the shot. It was just the shot that he took.
That's right. And really, I mean, just a bounce closer to the hoop. Might have drawn a foul, or and he certainly should have had a better shot than that.
Marciulionis tries to get past Jordan. It's an impossibility. Watch out. Reverse from Barkley.
And Marciulionis not happy with the officials there, and I think he's got every justification. Jordan was all over him, and that resulted in a fast break, but a 3 from Lithuania.
And they're hardly trying to get in now. It's all from outside. Karnisovas it was there.
Foul against Barkley, and well, I reckon the referees have got Barkley's name, you know. Every time he gets an offensive rebound now, the officials think, well, how did he get that? This is the previous offense, a reverse slam. Crowd didn't like that one either.
Marciulionis. Not a great shot.
But what a great outlet from Johnson.
Jordan, Barkley, the move so quick, so efficient.
The transition game, well, it all happens in about a second and a half from defense. The ball gets down the court at the other end, and 2 easy points. Nice pass there, and the ball was on the way up, and Robinson rejected it.
So quite a little contrast at either end. Robinson at this end, Sabonis at the other.
So clean as well from Robinson. No danger of contact, and ball on the way up, and whoosh, there it was, gone.
Karl Malone, who looked a little subdued on the bench, suddenly his eyes alert as he's called into action.
What a hustle on the halfway line. 3-on-1, and Malone the easy stuff. And great defense there.
They were given no help at all there. Krapikas on his own as 3 Americans converged on him.
It must as if the lights had suddenly gone out then. And Sabonis and Marciulionis off the court having a breather.
And the basket there from Inikis. New one, number 22 from Zalgiris Kaunas.
Well, that's the 33 points that Lithuania didn't want to lose by.
Malone again. No one boxed him out.
Good positioning from Malone, and well, he was doing the boxing out, or rather boxing in, getting his man on his back, and that's why he got such an easy offensive rebound. Magic Johnson's foul.
Chimichis bursting through. 33 years old, Vladimiras Chimichis.
You see the look away from Jordan, and the easy 2 from Malone. And that came as a result of super defense on the halfway line. Switzerland glides with Clyde. I think that's it.
So Drexler on. And Magic off. And Dick Stockton on as well. John Stockton, rather, number 12 there from the Utah Jazz. Jordan and Johnson take a rest.
And so far, the only American not been on is Christian Laettner, so we've had an all-NBA team so far.
Krapikas again from outside the arc. Bird, and again, where was the defense?
Someone was trying to front Malone, and he's just too big to be fronted in there.
Krapikas. Good hands. Malone it was. Bird.
Walking.
Jordan didn't like it.
Ewing received the ball, not exactly stationary, but he took either 2 or 3 steps anyway. Mr. Kostas Rigas, the referee from Greece, didn't like it.
Yes, it wasn't Larry's greatest pass. Chimichis. Again, contrast in the hustle on the two sides is there.
30-second clock ticking down.
Kapikas trying once more. John Stockton.
2 and a bonus. Well, that's from a man who looked for the foul, John Stockton, a man who broke his leg in Portland, and wasn't a serious fracture, if you can get a fracture that's not serious, so it's healed very quickly, and he gets 2 and a bonus.
Plays for the Utah Jazz, along with Malone. So the lead, as big as it's been so far, up to 37. Still the shots won't go in. Stockton, Bird, Ewing rather.
Well, the great Wilt Chamberlain had a tryout for the American volleyball team in 1984, and I reckon Larry Bird's got a future in volleyball as well. That pass came so quick, it was virtually a volley pass.
Ewing, great rebound, and possession to the States. I think that just about sums it up. I've never seen that, have you?
Well, apparently it happened a lot in the Tournament of the Americas in Portland. All the opponents wanted was photographs and autographs.
Karnisovas it is, taking the picture.
Something to show his grandchildren, I think.
And that 33 points is looking more and more out of reach. They've just given up inside.
The communication on the fast break there, and the word was middle, and that's exactly where the outlet pass went.
Oh,
look at that.
What a sweet move. Bird into Drexler. Fantastic stuff.
And the ball went from one end to the other in 3 seconds, and there was a sweet move in there as well.
6 minutes left.
43 points the gap.
Well, it's like shelling peas at the moment.
Well, if the Lithuanians are going to achieve their aim of getting within 33 points or less, then they've now got to outscore the Americans in the last few minutes. They're 10 points outside their target at the moment. That lovely move there.
Ewing once more. And Magic Johnson spending more time on his feet than sitting down at the moment. He really is thriving on the occasion. Says it still gives him a buzz every single game. Oh, that's a good move from Anikas, giving a little shove, but still put it in.
I reckon the Lithuanian coach is saving Sabonis and Marciulionis for the bronze medal game against the CIS. He's got his bench on at the moment, and they are being massacred.
Bird, Malone, and a foul. I think it was against Dimavicius.
Malone took such a deep position, such a low down position, then playing inside the paint, and that's why he could receive the ball and the defender had no chance of getting it. Great exhibition of fundamental skill there.
Matt Biondi with the glasses there. Not such a successful Olympics for him this time. So Malone,
the mailman, delivers the first of the 2 free throws.
MVP in the All-Star game 3 years ago, second in the league in scoring.
Such was the confidence of the Americans there. There were no rebounders. And a rare occurrence, Malone missed a free throw.
Still the communication you can hear. Marciulionis. And again.
The call was short and the rebound taken. And Glide to Glide. Glides through the key for a nice easy layup. Difference in this game and their previous game, Simon. The Americans haven't turned off, not for 1 second.
That's right. Here's Drexler. Malone, and he stuffs it right down the throat of Lithuania, and it's been like that the whole time.
Well, the record score was USA against Angola. That was a 68-point margin, and perhaps the Americans are trying to do that. There's a foul called on Larry Bird.
And now the Lithuanians are resorting to complaining amongst themselves. Look at this.
3-on-1, and no question as to what the outcome was.
Gervaisa to the line. He's the 37-year-old, plays for Hagen, and apparently he's just accepted the assistant coach job there. So this will be his last tournament on the national team. Lithuanians took part in 2 European Championships back in the 30s, in 37 and 39, and won them both. And then, of course, came the war and the disruption. Their first appearance at the Olympics. It's been a memorable one, but this hasn't been a great memory. Poor shot from Stockton. Marciulionis.
Almost a great pass there from Marciulionis, but pass receiver was just a bit too low, and here comes the 12th man on the American team, Christian Laettner, the only non-NBA player until he gets back to the States, that is. And he will go to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Stockton trying to find Bird.
Well, you can't count the number of giveaways from John Stockton on two hands, I tell you. One of the top assist players in the States and one of the best players in the world for getting the ball inside. And on that occasion, failed to find his man.
Americans for the first time gone a little quiet. Kurtinitis. Sabonis looks on, and as you say, probably being rested for what will be the key game against the United team.
Got a history of Achilles problems, actually, Sabonis, and looks in a little bit of pain there. He's getting a bit of ice on his Achilles. And Marciulionis successful with the second of the free throws.
Rebound from Brazdauskas. Drexler. Oh, what?
The height on the layup then. It wasn't a dunk, but he shot from above 10 feet. His hand was about 10 feet 6 when he released the ball then, I think.
Kurtinitis. Oh, that was a bit lucky.
Well, actually, the referee was standing out of bounds. It touched him, which means the ball's out of bounds as well.
But they still can't take advantage. Not really thinking. That's a sign that they've turned off. They have now.
I think the referee wants to play as well, you know. He's just interfered with play twice.
But Larry just wasn't thinking there.
Foul against Drexler. Very, very difficult to referee in a situation like this, though, when one side is so outclassing another. And you're always going to get the bird when you call a couple of little touch fouls like that. But a lot of refereeing calls are instinct. You see something and well, you just can't help blowing it. And I think that's what happened then.
Stockton. But they get the possession.
Patrick Ewing with a somewhat awesome looking knee bandage on there. A bit of ice in there as well.
Laettner setting up, and Kurtinitis just flicking him the back of his hand. Here's
the replay. Larry Bird just handing the ball to the referee, but not being given possession. Christian Leitner, only 22 years old, and the rest of his teammates are about 7 or 8 years older than him.
They're under real pressure. Does well there. Stockton, the bullet pass to Bird. And here's Drexler. That's worth waiting for.
That's how to execute a give and go. Larry Bird in the corner, and Clyde cuts and slams it.
Marciulionis. And the foul there on Gervaisa as he bursts through.
Malone picks up another foul.
Here's that move. Great pass there. Bird, Drexler. Gervaisa, one of the gold medalists in Seoul. Now a distant memory. This is just a painful memory. Larry Bird. Well,
I'd like to count the steps on that one again.
Didn't see too much defense either. And the lead creeps up now towards 50. And the shooting percentage gets lower and lower for Lithuania. Bird, Malone.
What a pass from Larry Bird. Didn't even look inside, knew Malone was cutting and delivered.
Marciulionis.
And that's their first field goal in a long time.
Stockton. Oh yes, some more. And this time Bird on the end of it.
This is almost when dads take on the kids, you know, Simon, and give a few exhibition passes and a few dunks, etc. Marciulionis gets a rare one there, but it has become quite embarrassing for the Lithuanians. Remember, they were aiming at 33 points.
Powerful move from Malone. Draws the foul.
And at the moment, it's 48, or these foul shots call it 50.
Terrific move. Drexler, Bird, and it was the other way around just a minute ago.
That makes the margin 51, I think, with that successful three-point play.
Yes, it's been the most we've seen them play in this match. They played for virtually the whole of the 39 minutes we've been on court, whereas I think before that it's been around 25, 26, something like that. Bird's got a little cut.
Now, theoretically, if there's any blood on the court, then the referee should stop and get the player off. That's the new FIBA regulation this year with the AIDS scare. So both the one-on-one successful. Compliment probably to Lithuania though, Simon, the fact that the Americans have played for the whole game, played tough defense and good offense. They respect their opponents and they know they had to play to produce a performance like this.
But when you look at the score like that, I don't think they'll take the compliment.
No, I think they'll take the memories to their grandchildren though. There's a nice 3-point to almost finish the game off. 48 points the margin. Stockton just pushes his men off casually.
Bird. Malone. And the foul on Gervaisa.
And Gervaisa just turns around to the referee and says he reckons he got the whole ball there and nothing else.
It's been a very, very professional performance.
I don't know what Malone mutters to himself there. He's obviously talking himself, psyching himself up to score the free throws. I can't lip read.
It's like the tournament depended on him. doesn't miss many, but it probably work out in their favour. Yep, Drexler.
That will probably finish it off. A lovely pass, and Drexler slams it.
So the last shot in from Marciulionis. He must be disappointed. First objective was not attained. That was to try and win the game. The second objective to keep them below 33, and that was nowhere near either.
Well, sorry, Simon, I haven't got the official Olympic stats going back to 1936 when basketball was first introduced, but that simply has to be a record score in a semi-final. 127-76, 51 points the margin in an Olympic semi-final.
So now they'll wait for the bronze medal game and hopes of a medal. That's a great picture. And maybe that was their third objective, to get in the picture. A picture like that.
USA definitely fulfilling their ambassadorial role here. Great PR. And remember, Lithuania, a very, very poor country, just emerging from the shackles of communism, and